An expanding universe must necessarily have had a beginning. The concept of an expanding universe has deep implications for understanding the origins of the cosmos. The fact that the universe is expanding, as observed through cosmological data, leads to the conclusion that it must have had a beginning. This assertion is grounded in both philosophical reasoning and scientific evidence. The idea that an expanding universe necessitates a beginning is not only a profound question in cosmology but also has significant implications for metaphysical discussions about the nature of existence and the cause of the universe. This video will explore the scientific, philosophical, and theological foundations for why an expanding universe must have a beginning. 1. The scientific basis for an expanding universe. The scientific case for an expanding universe is based on a combination of observations and theoretical models that describe the cosmos. The most direct evidence for cosmic expansion comes from Edwin Hubble's 1929 discovery of the redshift of distant galaxies. Hubble observed that galaxies are moving away from each other, and the farther a galaxy is, the faster it seems to be receding. This led to the conclusion that the universe is not static but is expanding in all directions. In modern cosmology, this expansion is described by the framework of the Big Bang theory. According to this model, the universe began as an extremely hot, dense point, often called a singularity, and has been expanding ever since. This expansion can be thought of as space itself stretching, rather than galaxies moving through space. The theory predicts that, as we trace the expansion backward in time, the universe would have been progressively denser and hotter, culminating in a singular point where all matter, energy, space, and time came into existence. This event, often referred to as the Big Bang, marks the beginning of the universe as we know it. 2. The philosophical argument for a beginning. Philosophically, the concept of an expanding universe implies a finite past. If the universe is expanding, it indicates that it was once smaller and denser. This raises a profound question. How long has the universe been expanding? If the expansion had no beginning, then the universe would have existed in an eternal past, which leads to logical and metaphysical difficulties. One of the key philosophical arguments against an eternal past is the impossibility of traversing an infinite series of events. If the universe had always existed and had been expanding for an infinite amount of time, then it would take an infinite amount of time to reach the present moment, which is absurd. The present moment would never arrive if the past were truly infinite, as an infinite number of events cannot be completed. Therefore, the universe must have had a finite starting point, where time and space began, and from which the universe has been expanding ever since. 3. The second law of thermodynamics. A second powerful reason the universe must have had a beginning lies in the second law of thermodynamics. This law states that, in a closed system, the amount of usable energy decreases over time, leading to a state of increased entropy or disorder. In the context of the universe, this means that if the universe had existed forever, it would have reached a state of maximum entropy, where no usable energy remains to sustain processes like star formation, galaxy rotation, and biological life. Since the universe still has usable energy and is not in a state of maximum entropy, it must have had a beginning. If it had existed from eternity past, it would have already exhausted its energy supply and reached a state of heat death. The fact that this has not occurred strongly supports the view that the universe began a finite time ago and has been expanding ever since. 4. The Borde-Guth-Vilenkin theorem. In addition to philosophical reasoning and thermodynamics, modern physics provides further evidence that an expanding universe must have had a beginning. The Borde-Guth-Vilenkin (BGV) theorem, developed in 2003 by physicists Arvind Borde, Alan Guth, and Alexander Vilenkin, provides a rigorous mathematical framework for this claim. The BGV theorem states that any universe that has been expanding over its history must have a past spacetime boundary, in other words, a beginning. The theorem applies not only to our universe but to any hypothetical multiverse models that also involve expansion. According to Vilenkin, all the evidence we have says that the universe had a beginning. This result is profound because it demonstrates that even if there were hypothetical quantum fluctuations or other speculative mechanisms before the Big Bang, the overall expansion would still require an absolute beginning in the past. 5. The theological implications. Creation ex nihilo. From a theological perspective, the idea that the universe had a beginning resonates deeply with the doctrine of creation ex nihilo, which means creation out of nothing. In Christian theology, This doctrine asserts that God created the universe from no pre-existing materials, and that both time and space came into being at the moment of creation. The concept of an expanding universe with a definite beginning aligns with the biblical account in Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This understanding of creation implies that the universe did not emerge from an eternal past or from some pre-existing matter but was brought into existence by a transcendent cause. Theologically, this supports the idea of a personal, timeless creator who exists outside of time and space and initiated the universe's existence. 6. Conclusion. The necessity of a beginning. In conclusion, the expanding universe we observe today strongly indicates that it had a beginning. Both scientific evidence, including the Big Bang Theory and the BGV theorem, and philosophical arguments, such as the impossibility of traversing an infinite past, support the idea that the universe began to exist a finite time ago. Furthermore, the second law of thermodynamics strengthens this conclusion by showing that an eternal universe would have already exhausted its energy. This conclusion is consistent with the theological concept of creation ex nihilo, where the universe was brought into existence by a transcendent cause. Ultimately, the expanding universe not only points to a beginning but also raises profound questions about the nature of the cause of the universe, questions that lead naturally into metaphysical and theological discussions. The idea that an expanding universe must have had a beginning opens the door to exploring the possibility of a creator who transcends time, space, and matter. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe, and comment below if you agree or would like to add your thoughts. If you would like me to respond to your comment, please make a level 1 comment directly below the video. I will respond to all polite level 1 comments even if it takes me a while, due to other commitments.